guys, what's up? Tom here again. Today I'm going to be starting the forge up again and making a new set of tongs. For these tongs, I'm going to be using this 1/2-inch rebar that I picked up the other day. Not sure how long it's going to take. It'll probably be about the same length as the other tongs video. These are just a different style rather than having the bolt head tongs that, you know, have the space in the center to hold odd shaped items. These are just going to have flat heads so that when you close them down they just clamp on stuff like that. So you know, let me walk you through what I'm going to be doing with the pieces and then we'll get started from there. Okay, so here's a basic overview of you know, what we're going to be doing with these tongs to make them. Alright, so first step I'm going to take is with these bars of rebar, rather than keeping them, you know, shaped like rebar, first step I'm going to do is go ahead and square these off probably 10 inches down or so. That way I get a good square flat working area. I'm going to do that to both of them. Once I've done that, on the anvil, I'm pretty sure you guys can't see it, but I have a line marked here and a line marked here. I really need to get myself some soapstone so that I can, you know, show better where I'm marking stuff. But basically what I'm going to do is lay the squared piece, you know, next to these lines, and I've got a hot slit chisel somewhere to make some dents in. One on the top, flip it over, one on the bottom. Then, you know, stick it back in the forge, heat it back up. And then, on the top one, I'm going to take the cross-peen section of the cross-peen hammer and, you know, hammer it down straight into the notch closest to the end of the piece. And that will create a dip in that will help offset the jaws from one another when they're put together. After I've done that, next step is going to be to hold the second notch that I put in over the side of the anvil, and then, you know, hammer down across it. And what that is going to do is it'll create like a step down, and it'll also separate out a portion probably about that big, where it'll flatten out a little bit more while I'm hammering on it, and that'll be the spot where they rivet together. Once I've done that, you know, heat it back up, stick it in the bench vise, and give the jaws a 90-degree twist. That way they mesh together rather than being on end. Once I've done that, you know, take it back over to the anvil, refine the shape a little bit more. That way they stay the way I want them to stay. Once that's done, I'm going to clamp the pieces into the bench vise, and I'm going to hot slit the rivet hole like I did with the replacement half of the tongs that I showed you guys the other day. I think for these I'll probably only use a 1/4-inch rivet rather than the 3/8 rivets that I've been using. And then, you know, go ahead and rivet those together, make sure they work. Then what I'm going to do is to properly size them. Let's see. I've got this piece. It's a little bit bigger than 1/4-inch steel, or a little bit thicker I should say. And I'm going to heat the jaws up in the forge, clamp them down around this piece, and then hammer them flush on both sides. That way they have a very positive grip on the flat surface. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get the forge started up, and then we'll start. Okay, so now I've got the forge in the warm-up stage. You can see there that fire is just now starting to, you know, actually come out of the coals rather than them just glowing orange. So, got to give it a little bit more time for it to warm up, add some more coals, and once I got a nice fire going, we can go ahead and start forging. Okay, so had the forge running for about 5 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see, you know, how good the fire's going. There we go. We got a good fire going now. I had to burn down some of those coals, that way I have a nice hot base to lay the steel on. But that should only take maybe 2-3 minutes. Right now I'm running on low. Let me go ahead and switch it up to high. There we go. And now that'll expedite the process and make the fire that much hotter. Alright, so the first layer burned down, so I got a nice hot bed to lay the work on. I've got my workpiece in there right now, starting to heat up. Whoops, stepping on the cord here. I've got my big fan going to suck out all the gas, because it's the past couple of weeks when I was, moving into this new shop and stuff. It was about 80 degrees, and mind you, that's a little high for the middle of March for Chicagoland suburbs. So I was enjoying the nice weather, being able to walk around in nothing but shorts and a t-shirt, having the ability to take my shirt off when it's hot in here, because this forge, when it's about 80 degrees out, will get the inside of this shop up to about 100 easy. And now it seems like a cold front has passed through, and right now it's struggling to hit 50. So it's a little bit noisy right now, A, because of the forge, and B, because of the large exhaust fan. But I gotta have that running, because of the cold, I have my big garage door closed. That way the forge is serving dual purposes, and heating the metal up and also heating the shop up. That way I can stay warm. So this piece should be about ready to work in, I don't know, maybe 2 more minutes. So I'll go ahead and start the camera back up when I'm about to start on that. Alright, so here you can see how it went from round rebar to, there we go, square stock. way, I just lengthen this square bit down to about here. That way you have a nice flat square work surface all the way up to the end. So next step is to mark out where I'm going to put the jaws and the area for the rivet to go. So I'll go ahead and do that, or I'll throw this back in the forge, and then once it's heated up, I'll go ahead and turn it on and show you guys doing that. Alright, so real quick, while that piece is heating up, this is my, I don't know if I can get it in focus or not. There we go. This is the hot chisel I'm going to be using to mark out, you know, where I'm going to go ahead and put those shoulders in. The grade of steel I'm not entirely sure on. I'm sure it's some sort of carbon steel, whether it's 01 or something else. But and it's a pretty hefty piece. It's about 3/4 round. But this actual chisel was my grandfather's. He used to work as a construction worker. So I just been using it to do hot slits and stuff like that. So yeah. Alright, there we go. Let's see. There's the slit that'll differentiate the jaw from the area for the rivet. And over there is where I'm going to go ahead and make the area for the rivet, and that differentiates between the handle and the rivet. So, okay, now it's about time to establish that front shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the piece out of the forge and go ahead and hammer that in. You can see the start of it there. I need to heat it up a little bit more since it slipped off while I was hammering it. So I'll go ahead and throw it back in and then turn on the camera again once I start doing it again. And there we go. Step is established in there. It's roughly halfway through. And that'll give me a good area to go ahead and twist it for the jaws and to help differentiate with the between there and where the rivet part is going to be. So next step is to go ahead and do the shoulder for where I marked out this section. Okay, starting to establish that area there. It's right in between here where the rivet's going to go. You can see the step I started to hammer in there. I'm going to put it in for another heat and then establish that more. And then I'm going to go ahead and flatten this out ever so slightly. There we go. Got that, it's kind of like a rhombus kind of shape into it there. Next step is going to be to flatten out this space. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to flatten it down to about 1/4 inch. Right now it's right around 3/8. I got to flatten it down to about 1/4, and then I'm going to draw the steel out to one direction. That way this side stays flush, and then over here is where the actual jaw extends out. I'm going to do the same thing to the other piece in the same direction. That way when they mesh, even though these where the rivet section is going to be will be directly next to each other, the jaws will be offset so that they're centered on each other. So that's going to be the next step. Okay, you can kind of sort of see that it's starting to go that direction, and it's staying pretty flush along the bottom. And there we go. I think that's about as far as I want to get it. It's not going to be grabbing anything too large. So, you know, that half-inch face there should be plenty enough to grab whatever I'm trying to grab. Next step is going to be to go ahead and put the 90-degree twist in it. And then after that, I can go ahead and hot slit where the rivet's going to go in here. Okay, so here we have our near finished half. The next step is going to be to punch the rivet hole into that section there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this back in the forge, get my tools ready, and then I'll turn the camera back on. You can see the hole starting to form there. Right now I would guess I'm about halfway through it, so I need to do another heat in order to finish the hole out. And then we can go ahead and drift it to the proper size. Alright, now, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but the hole is in fact cut straight through. Yeah, you can kind of see through it. I gotta stick it back up in the forge, heat it back up, and fix how this looks. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drift the hole out to the correct size for the rivet that I'm going to use. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and drifted the hole out, and made the corrections to the piece so that it was nice and even again. And this is the piece of rod that I'm going to be using for the rivet, and that slides in there very well. So next step is going to be to do the same thing to the other piece of rebar. Normally what you should do when making tongs and stuff is work them both at the same time, but because of how my forge is built, I can't actually fit both pieces in there at the same time. So this is the next best thing. Just keep them side by side. That way you can tell what to do where. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start work on the other piece. Once I get the other piece to this stage, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on and show you guys how I'm doing. Oh, there we go. These are now finished, except for a little bit of rough work on them. But they kind of wiggle around. But I mean, that's just shaping the jaws a little bit better. So I just riveted it in with a 1/4 inch rivet. And yeah, that's it. The only other work I gotta do on this now is just cleaning up the jaws. So once I get that done, I'll turn the camera back on and show you guys the completely finished product. Alright guys, here are the finished tongs. I wound up cutting the reins a little bit short, because I mean, with them, that's another foot worth of length on that I just didn't need. So I fine-tuned the jaws a little bit. If you notice here, that's actually a weld bead, because this jaw, I don't know whether it just cooled too fast or what, but the where it meets right here cracked, and I had to weld it back on. But it's nice and solid now. And actually, hang on, let me go grab that piece over there. Alright, let's see. When you clamp down on stuff with this, it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's in there nice and strong. It's got a little tiny bit of wobble side to side, but I mean, as long as you're clamped down on it, it's grabs it real nice. So the only other thing I gotta do is tighten the rivet a little bit. It's a little bit loose coming in close. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it wiggles ever so slightly. But so I'm going to tighten that rivet up, and these are done. So I'm going to be running another video tomorrow. So I'm off again tomorrow, and I will be making. Try to debate whether I should make the other set of rebar tongs, or if I should work on this this knife that I'm making here. Again, this was just a railroad spike that I'm drawn out into. It's going to be a Tonto style blade when it's all said and done. So debating whether or not I should work on this or the other set of tongs. So you know, I don't know. I guess you guys will see whenever I upload the next video. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later.